and it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top I found some relief, you see, so please don't mess up the mood. Yeah. I worked too hard for it, no I need to beat it, oh you mess up the mood. Alright, ooh, I worked too hard for it, and I need it, so please don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Don't mess up the mood. Yeah. Oh come on, I worked too hard for it, yeah. Don't mess up the mood.
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard the drops of drizzle meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt, peep the scenery. Telephone rang, then it stopped before I could answer it. I heard a knock at the door, so I answered it. And with Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block, and orthodox that led the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block, and they be pumping weight and holding, so Dwayne got shot. Now see, Dwayne was just a knucklehead, but still with his cousin. And I'd be wrong if I ain't help him when his beef, he gon' rush. And he said, listen, homie, ain't no time for discussion. Motherfucking pressure's rising and it's boiling the bustin'. So if you with me, then you with me, nigga, make a decision. Got the bait, you be the hook, cause we's about to go fishing. Now listen, when it's on, then it's on for show. Kiss my girl up on the head and in the wind out the door. Stood up in the dog, it comes to life.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've, of course, got one more game to go tonight here for APAC South. It's been an amazing night to really kickstart the season. We had Seventh Heaven, who, of course, caused a bit of a stir. And then, as we just saw, Wildcard completely undone by Q Confirm. SCA 2, OCE nil. No more OCA teams, though, on the broadcast tonight, guys. We move on to Giants versus Xavier and Raven. This is the match of the day.
Look, very excited about this match. This is a very hard-fought little battle that we've had before. Rich history between these two teams, in fact. They've played both BO3s in the recent majors, and of those, they were played 80 rounds. It's a lot of rounds to be played between 6 maps. So, close affairs recently, and it's really hard to say how the things have changed. You know, the meta has developed a lot since 2020.
Yeah, thanks for stealing everything I was going to say, Raven. That's fine.
You're
no,
welcome.
These two teams, look, I would go as far to say that these two teams will... I'm going to make the bold suggestion now. They're going to finish first and second. So this game right now is going to be incredibly important in the grand scheme of the entire season. And I know both of these teams are looking to kind of fight at the bit to get involved. So really, really curious to see what Xavier have kind of tucked away in the pocket.
Is that a bold prediction, though? I don't think it really is. I think that's probably the smart prediction, that these two teams may very well be 1 and 2 by the end of the season. I mean, Raven, you would probably have to agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident they will end up being 1 and 2. They're both very strong teams in Southeast Asia, and they proved that strength in APAC North last season, which also has its fair share of strong teams. So the fact that they are able to go toe-to-toe and bring it up, for sure, is the Titans of APAC South. I'm quite confident in that.
Yeah, I'm not dismissing or really, I'm not even going to go against the grain there. Giants are really on another level here for the APAC South, and it's definitely the leading team for me, and I'm sure for many at home. Like you said, it's probably not as bold as what I would like to make my outlandish claims, but this roster is just wreaking havoc, and I think coming into APAC South, there is no question in my mind that they're just going to back this up. And, like the names there that I have been watching since I first stepped into Siege and have continuously, time and time again, stepped up, also like Luna Metal. I love Luna Metal, man. Such a great personality to have in Siege for us.
Well, before we segue to their opponents, I want your thoughts as well on this Giants roster, Raven, and where they sort of stack up.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard to talk about Giants without talking about the duo of Hysterics and Speakeasy. Incredible players, mechanically, and just their IQ is way up there, and they are really dangerous. So Xavier, they're going to have to try and shut down those guys to have any chance. And that's the same for any opponents of Giants, really. They need to be able to reduce the fragging power of those two in particular. And that's not to say the rest of the team can't frag out. They certainly can. But Hysterics and Speakeasy, very prolific.
Well, let's segue right over to their opponents. It's, of course, Xavier Esports. And as I segue over to them, I'm going to go straight back to you, Raven. Bam, double fire, double tap. Give us your thoughts on their opponents here.
Well, again, you want to talk about prolific fraggers in APAC. Onigiri, man, I have seen so many highlights of this guy. He really is a standout player for Xavier, but their roster just has something special about the way they gel together. It comes down to their playstyle. It can be quite unpredictable and really aggressive and hard to shut down. So I just think, on top of the fact that Onigiri is just so up there in his skills, the way these guys come together is what makes Xavier a dangerous roster.
I think, just once again, backing on that statement, Napier as well, I rate so highly as a player, and I think this is going to be a very tightly contested game. This roster here can do some serious damage to Giants, and I have no question, absolutely no question, that Napier can go toe-to-toe with a player like Speakeasy, or like you said, it just reiterating my point of these two teams and how tightly contested the past couple of games have been. And I mean, 80 rounds played in 6 maps. Regulation goes to 72 rounds in 6 maps. So we're talking incredibly tight matches pushed to OT continuously.
Let's, of course, at the map that they are going to be playing on here for this best of one. This final map of the day. It doesn't feel like it's been a long day. It's gone by pretty quick as the maps do come out. And boy, are we in for a banger. We go back to Chalet, boys, and really spices it up, Raven.
It does. And look, I was just quickly looking at the ban stats for these maps, and I was like, surely this goes to Chalet. I feel like it's the best even ground for these two to battle out at the start of APAC South. And here we are. So that throws a lot out the window. We can't really draw a whole lot from previous results. Chalet is a whole new map to the map pool. It's been a little bit likened by Guz earlier to Coastline, but it's still not quite the openness of Coastline. So I think this is going to be a very exciting matchup, given that it's going to Chalet. I think it does enable a bit of Xavier's playstyle as unpredictable aggression can kind of come out of nowhere in many places in Chalet.
Yeah, I think the game we saw with Knights and Elevate definitely lent into a roam-heavy kind of opportunity. And like you're saying, Raven, for a team like Xavier that is unpredictable, is aggressive, and is happy to take those early engagements, and Chalet sits in their back pocket. So I don't know who I've actually gone for, but I'm probably looking toward that maybe being a determining factor in how Giants seem fit to deal with Xavier.
I'm pretty certain that you've gone with Xavier, actually. I believe it was yourself and Guz. So doing the work there for you. Manic Monday, as always. Final thoughts and predictions as we close out this pre-game. Raven, are you on the Giants bandwagon still, even going into Chalet, or has that potentially changed your mind a bit?
Oh, look, I'm still on the Giants bandwagon. Besides the fact that I love those guys, I support them a lot. I just think that their preparation is solid. So coming into this, I have no doubt they've probably practiced Chalet quite a lot and got to a level of comfort. I feel like that's going to give them the edge.
Robert?
Well, all I'm going to say is Chalet showed that things can get a little bit interesting. It can get spicy, it can get heated. I am going with Xavier. I'm going to back that up, and I'm going to stay true to that prediction. I feel that this is going to lean into Xavier's playstyle.
Well, I myself feel like Giants should be able to still have too much, I think, for Xavier and to take it out here on Chalet. But I also believe it's going to be a cracker. We're going to throw it over to our two favorite resident casters. It's Dev, it's Guz.
Are we the favorites? I had no idea. Thank you, Xenox. Pleasantly surprised to hear that, Guz. We're back in for another one. It is the match of the day, and guess what? It's on Chalet. That was an accidental rhyme, but I'm keen as I am actually going to agree with Rob here for once. Who'd have thought? I reckon Chalet is a map that's actually going to move into Xavier's playstyle in this case. That aggression, I think that's going to come to fruition here.
Yeah, I'm feeling super blessed to cast this match. I feel like this could be one of the best matches of the entire first stage. So let's get into it. It's the neutral territory of Chalet. And as you said, Xavier will be looking to bring the heat against the Giants.
Chalet, here we go. It is the rework, the second time tonight. We're going to see it. And it is Giants versus Xavier, one of the oldest rivalries that we have, dating back to the Southeast Asian Pro League. That rivalry continued through the APAC North Division, where these teams continuously fought neck and neck. Xavier were known as the Giant Killers for the upsets they managed and for always pushing Giants to overtime and to that final line of defense. Let's see how this inaugural match in APAC South for them does go.
Ace off the board first here from Xavier, not wanting to deal with that on the defense. We'll see what the Giants follow it up with. Likely a Thatcher, but no, it'll instead be the Maverick. So we're finally going to see some Thatcher pay potentially here on Chalet, and I think that's going to open up the map even more. Sure, there's 2 hard breaches taken down, but you still have the Hibana and the Thermite, so I don't think there'll be too many issues in getting walls opened when desired. Keen to see what the defensive bans will be. Critical one for the Giants, of course. They start out on the attack. It's actually going to be the one my taken off. So,
Right.
Wow. I think off the board, Dev, we can say that if Chalet was already going to be super aggressive, now it's going to be super duper aggressive.
There you go. That Malusi means it's, well, with no Banshees as an attacking squad, you're going to have a lot easier of a time just executing on the site, taking those aggressive plays and really swinging in. Now, the My ban's not super surprising to me because it's the most banned defensive operator for both of these teams, but I'm surprised not to see the Nomad ban come from Xavier. That ace is a bit left of field for me. Does mean Nomad is in, and you can see Hysterics just lock straight into that. I think that's a great play. You've talked about that aggression. Chalet is all about the roam and the anti-roam, and that Nomad really is going to shut down some of that aggression. And look at that, the Clash teased out for a second there, but the 6-pick comes through, and Napier goes over to Valkyrie.
Yeah, I guess expanding on that point, I think my early impressions of this map is that rotations for the defense are almost top priority. You want to be able to expand your control of the map, but it can be very dangerous to rotate. The fireplace stairs are super exposed, library stairs are super exposed for a lot of long angles. Then of course you've got Solarium down to Trophy, there's the outside window, and again more angles that can be made from West Main. So having that Nomad will only make that even more hard for the defense to rotate around. That said, we are heading to bedroom first. I believe this is probably the objective we'll see the least roaming, but we have seen it already tonight in the likes of Solarium, Trophy, even all the way over towards Library. And the fact that Xavier on the defense, I mean, they could do anything. They could probably have a 4-man roam for all I know, so we'll have to wait and see. Castle being brought as well, so I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Nothing too crazy from Xavier in terms of the... I was going to say the unusual aggression, but there you go. A spawn peek from Angry X, the newest player on the roster. Big shoes to fill, filling in for Red Sun, the former captain of this roster, but he does great work taking down Ysera. Already put Xavier into the advantage the first couple seconds of the round. And that's not even regarding this beautiful little castle extension right at the top of Library Stairs. Another run out. Welcome to Thailand, says Napier as he takes down the top-rated player of APAC North 2020.
And we stress the importance of that Nomad, but no air jabs will be placed around the map, and the defense will be able to roam around even more confidently in combination with that man advantage. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past the player to just jump out Solarium and get this player on the drone at this point, because that is just Xavier, but maybe they'll just tame it a little bit here, reel it in. They've still got 2 minutes that they need to hold out for, and there's no point turning it back to a 3-on-4, which they do. Speakeasy finds one onto DCH. So Giants still in with a chance. They just need to try and find maybe one more pick that isn't traded here by the defense.
While Xavier are a very aggressive team, they're also a smart team. They know when not to peek. That's just as important as knowing when to peek. Ooh, unfortunate timing there for Angry X. That Luna is taken down. Onigiri there to support. Great crossfire from those two Xavier players. Angry X flashed out. He pushes back. Jordan not able to secure that kill. Now he's in a 1 versus 4. Now, impossible now for the Giants to come back this round. Xavier have already made a statement.
Wow. Big first round here from Xavier. Looking unlikely that the Giants will get themselves back into this one. Those 2 spawn peaks at the start. Huge. Xavier and Hysterics not even being able to set foot inside of Chalet. It's hectic when you're inside, but when you're playing against Xavier, it's also hectic on the exterior. And as Jordan tries to make his way up the stairs, he'll be shut down. Napier to find the final kill, rocking that very good-looking new seasonal skin, I must say. And don't know what that flick was, but the shot was clean.
Xavier are just absolutely cracked. One of the most mechanically skilled rosters you will see in the entire world, hands down. I don't think that should even be debatable. And I was speaking a while back with Luna from Giants about Xavier and saying, how do you defeat this roster? And he says, well, their mentality when it comes to playing against Xavier, and of course Giants one of the most experienced teams at playing Xavier, the mentality is that, well, Xavier, they want to take their 1v1s. They love gunfights because they are so good at mechanical skill. That is their forte. So you don't give it to them. You try and set the team up into situations where you're not giving Xavier a fair fight. You're giving them an unfair fight. Maybe they're caught in a crossfire. Maybe you're flashing them before you peek. Whatever it is, it's all about not taking 50-50 fights. Because as soon as you start to lean into those could go either way gunfights, it's Xavier who's going to win it. But we didn't see that so far. I mean, it was Xavier who dictated those first gunfights, right? Just jumping out and spawn peeking.
Yeah. And I mean, I get the impression that Chalet, at least early on in its lifespan, I feel like it's going to be hard for the Giants to avoid 1v1s. We saw it a lot in the first matchup of the evening between 7th Heaven and Order, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
No, it was Elevate.
Elevate Knights, my apologies. Yeah, we saw a lot of 1v1 battles in that, and it didn't really feel like either team was super intent on taking those fights. It's just how the map sort of naturally played out. So if the Giants want to avoid that, well, I wish them all the best, because at least that first round gave the impression that Xavier are definitely going to go to every resort possible to prevent that from happening.
As much as we profile Xavier as this super aggro team, like they have strengths. I mean, look at this. Mira, Castle, Kaid, like these are heavy utility operators that we're seeing brought to the table, and we're seeing the least favored bomb site chosen here by Xavier, Kitchen, which I know a lot of teams have said is just utter rubbish, but Xavier don't think so. They've got a lovely little mirror set up. They've made the top a little bit of a kill box. As you can see upstairs, a lot of angles pre-opened up, not allowing Giants to just take control of the top floor willy-nilly. Actually a mirror window as well, holding stairs facing towards Piano for Sapper here as well.
Yeah, I'm liking this utility investment from the defense. Keep in mind, the entire floor basically above this objective is wooden. It can be destroyed. A lot of angles can be generated, and that basically means that as the defense, you basically can't turtle inside, no matter how hard you try. So I love the intent here to try and hold above. They're trying to contest Solarium. Yazira's going to go in for the rappel. Makes it in. Default camera's up and spotted his position. He gets slit up, but he will survive at least for a little bit longer as Giants try to work out how they're going to clear this player out.
Sapper and Angry X to receive. C4 comes through, misses its mark. Blows anyway, Angry X for the wild spray. Just dancing with death, but Hysterics finds the first pick on Agiri! What was that? You better be thankful! Oh no! The server seems to be falling to pieces. But thankfully for Xavier, they managed to claw it back. Hysterics jumps in downstairs, might find this 1v1, he does. A 2 versus 2, make that a 2v1. Hysterics has gone huge, but Sapper has that diffuser. It's all on him to hold on.
The SMG at this range will prove deadly. Vertholz as well, watching the bottom of the stairs, but this lag not really serving anyone's favor, but it doesn't really matter. The teams need to play with it, and Sapper, he gets swung. Hysterics will take the round for his team. A little bit messy there in the mid-round, but they managed to get the job done.
Very, very messy, but yeah, they certainly got the job done at the end of the day, did Giants. Really thanks to Hysterics making some impact plays when it matters. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. That worked for Giants just that time around. Let's either come back to us and have a look at our beautiful faces. Pack South is everything for these teams. And you want to talk about how close the game is. Last 3 times Giants and Xavier have played each other, it has been a 7-5 or an overtime. Historically, these teams are very closely matched, and usually Giants comes out on top, but Xavier is always a massive threat, and they're always coming in and bringing that heat that kind of makes Giants step back for a second and have to rest and recuperate before they can take their own blow.
Well, of course, as you can see, we are back in the map now. This is not a replay of the previous round. Xavier have elected to re-attempt the same bomb site, bringing similar operators to the board. You're going to see that mirror placed above, I'd assume in combination with castle barricades as well, to try and slow the progression of the Giants' sweep. We saw last time the Giants take control of Solarium, and then I did that to control above the objective and found those picks. Didn't even need to go for the plant in the end, so I assume that their plan of attack might be very similar here, as it looks like they've spawned to the north side, and Jordan straight away might be able to jump on that rappel and try and get some work done.
And here comes the mirror window. DCH. He actually has a step one still in the pocket. He's going to go back downstairs to pop that one, I expect. It's like we've talked about, this bomb site really does have a heavy reliance on that vertical play. As soon as you lose control of the top floor, if you're not contesting it, it's just so easy for the attackers to open the floor and kill you anywhere near the bomb site. So that's why we have Xavier really having a presence up here at the moment. It's just the one player. But that mirror window does mean it's a bit more difficult for Giants to just safely go into office and start to open up that floor.
Not much action so far. Angry X not under too much pressure inside of Solarium. The Giants still preparing their plan of attack. Lots of utility that can be utilized. 9 flashes and 2 nades. Those projectiles will prove quite dangerous to the Jaeger playing this position if the Giants time it right. They've got the crossfire over towards the double window as well, but no one's playing on the bathroom window, so if he wants to, he'll be able to retreat. And the Giants don't want that. They want their man. Ooh, as DCH finds his. That's Jordan taking down, who I believe was on the window.
Yeah, I think he actually maybe even started to
repelled
repel
in.
That is a gnarly shot from Sapper on the receiving end, but now Speakeasy has gone on forth upstairs. It looks like that top is clear. Ysera suppress a little bit as he repels in. Still a little bit worried. He doesn't know where Angry X went. Previously, he was roaming upstairs, and the Gemini will go forth to look for a bit more information. Xavier fully retreated. They've still got teeth, and that is the C4. Immediately traded, and wow, back and forth constantly. A 2v2 now. 45 seconds left. Luna and Speakeasy pick up the pieces.
Xavier wasted a lot of time, but as I mentioned earlier, when you fall back to site, there is so much pressure that can be applied from the vert. You've got the hatches and soft floor. That's why the likes of Sapper are deciding to play off-site. Napier, he's stuck though. He needs to try and play this part of the map, prevent the drop from the hatch and any entries from Trophy. As a drone has spotted him out, the ping goes out as well. Luna and Speakeasy, they need to try and play off one another as Luna's dropped the hatch. He has the kit, and he's going to go for the plant, but it gets denied. Speakeasy, where are you? He doesn't trade it back, and Sapper will finish the job as Napier finds that one onto Speakeasy. Wow. That really crumbled apart there for the Giants. It felt like they had an inkling of hope, but Xavier shattered it.
It goes to show that the way Xavier are playing this, their decision-making seemingly impeccable. A lot of teams would think, well, once you lose top floor and the attackers start to open up those angles through the floor and take down players, well, that's the end of it. But a couple of things put together meant that Xavier was completely favored. Firstly, the first player that fell for Giants was the Buck, and that is the primary player you want to be using to open up that floor and expose the defenders below. Secondly, even though Xavier had forfeited that top floor, they were still keeping up the fight with their C4s and found another kill through the floor as well. And thirdly, Xavier retained their man advantage by just keeping players retreating downstairs. And even though there were trades back and forth, a 2v2 with only a couple seconds left, favors the defenders because the attackers have to force down that plant, effectively leaving it in a 1v2 for that second attacker who has to cover his buddy planting that diffuser. So well played there for Xavier.
I gotta say, I'm quite surprised at the amount of play that objective has gotten and some of the success that's been highlighted. I feel like, for whatever reason, I'm drawing parallels between that objective and Penthouse on Coastline. I just don't see this objective being viable long term. It just feels, to me, there's so many weaknesses on this site that maybe aren't being exploited yet by these teams. So maybe in the future we'll just see this site never be played, but who knows? Maybe I'll be proven wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I love seeing innovation on the defense, and Xavier, with some of that innovation, was able to get that round.
Something I love to see is a little bit of Xavier aggression. Basically copyrighted at this point. Hysterics may be victim of a jump out here. I know that Napu had a camera outside and was near that window. It had been 2 kicks so he could jump out at a moment's notice. Jordan barely survives that engagement. And Xavier running amok.
And this must be really frustrating for the Giants. They like to play more structured siege, but when you can't even get in the building and get things going without taking damage, that has to be tilting. Jordan now needs to be so careful for the rest of the round. Some nice flashes, they will push back angry. Zero follows it up with a nade. There's that structured siege we love to see from the Giants.
Perfectly methodical. And now, I believe for the first time, that's Giants with the man advantage. But Jordan is a hair's breadth away from falling himself. The Gemini goes on through, clearing out dining, kitchen, west main. Good info now, good control. Giants are going to utilize that, I believe, for some vertical play. My assumption, Jordan is going to come in with the skeleton key and start to displace these defenders from below by destroying the ceiling and making these defenders move around. But he needs to worry about his flanks in the meanwhile. I don't know whether Hysterics has put those air jabs down, covering all of Hysterics' flanks, or rather Jordan's flanks. And even if Jordan was to open that floor, he's low HP. He might lose a gunfight through it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was going to say. The moment an angle gets opened, you just know that Xavier, instead of running away from it, are going to run towards it and try and find that pick, especially if their communication's good. Should have been called out earlier that Jordan has taken a lot of damage and that he's one shot. So Xavier, with that intel, should be able to try and down him. They do, and now it should be a 4-on-4.
Nice little aggressive peek, ripping down the castle barricade for DCH. Doesn't commit, and that's fine. Ysera gets the revive onto Jordan. 45 seconds left, and Giants have made this a 5v3. DCH has this great angle onto the balcony, but he's worried about peeking it. Napu as well. The Xavier players are dropping like flies, and Giants have full control for this round. 5 versus 2, but they need to make this execute happen. 25 seconds left and falling. Giants are just about ready for this execute as they start to push on through. It's an easy pinch. Napu is the last to fall as Speakeasy cleans ass to Xavier players. And Giants get back in the game.
Great positioning there from the Giants late round. They had the crossfires established. They choked out Xavier. They had nowhere to move. They were trying to find picks desperately to bring that round back from the brink. But as you saw, the Giants, they gave them no breathing room. And in the end, they'll take the round, evening up that scoreline once again. These two have had a lot of close maps. Maybe this will be yet another.
I feel like it's not a Giants versus Xavier game unless if it goes to overtime or near enough. Keeping in mind that overtimes don't give the winner as many points as they used to. Only 3 points. Sorry, only 2 points instead of the 3 that you would get for an outright victory. Giants need to be mindful of that. If they drop even just the 1 point to Xavier here by going to overtime, it's still winning like 8-6 or 8-7. That's already some points that Giants are missing out on that other teams, for example, the Pittsburgh Knights, might be able to catch up to. Even a team like Q-Confirm might be a threat to Giants. If we look way back in the day, Q-Confirm and Xavier were two very, very strong teams within the Southeast Asia Pro League, which Giants also played. And Giants were actually by no means the dominant force in SEA Pro League. They were the household name, but Xavier and Q-Confirm took quite a few of those Pro League championships away from Giants. Now that we're in Southeast or rather South APAC, I think we might actually see a bit of a reprisal of that.
Maybe. Been a while since the C's Pro League days. I gotta say, that was definitely in the pre-Beard Guz era. Oh, I did. Definitely some late nights back in the day. Oh my. Bringing back the memories. Oh, wow. Anyway, let's direct our attention to round number 5. Funny little roam here from Napier playing the con downstairs. Maybe trying to find a cheeky pick. Action, meanwhile, though, I believe is going down towards the site as the Giants prepare for yet another Solarium push. It feels like this is just the trend at the moment. Every team wanting to take this side of the map. It's a stark contrast to matchmaking where teams try to take normally from the lobby side. Maybe the competitive teams just feel that's too risky. In Solarium, it's just easy to flush out some of these positions.
Yeah, agreed. Like, totally in ranks every day. It seems like people are from top 5 players from library, etc. But I think a lot of these pro teams have realized that that Solarium side of the map is actually a lot easier to execute on, and there's a lot less power positions for the defenders to play. Just while we've got a breath of a moment to breathe, I want to draw your attention to the top right-hand corner of the screen and the top left-hand corner of the screen, where you can see the attacker and defender utility. It's a new feature that's come with Crimson Heist. Hooray! And for the first number, where it's number and then a vertical slash and then the second number, the first number is how much of that utility is deployed, and the second number is how much of that utility is left in the pocket. So for example, there's 1 barbed wire in the pocket and 2 out in the field. I don't know why, but there you go.
It looks like some progression has been made by the Giants. Here's Zira inside of Slam. Nades are sent out. He's flashed though, which makes it a little bit awkward as Onigiri pounces onto Lunar Metal. More damage done there. Back onto Xavier as Onigiri is traded out. Jordan getting to work from below. He has the HP to do so on this occasion as more frags continue to rain out, but it's trade after trade after trade. And Hysterics and Speakeasy are left in the 2-on-3. 30 seconds to work with.
Quite a play here from Hysterics. A lot of gusto pushing in from Piano. Angrex just holding down the line. Both of the Giants players are inside. 2 Xavier's players on Solarium stairs, but they don't have the diffuser to Giants. Speakeasy finds another one. 2 versus 2. There's a C4, says see you later. Hysterics jumps down. It's a 1v1. He find Napier. Xavier take it in the 1 versus 1. And they take back the lead.
Great work there from Xavier. They got the diffuser down and it was what won them the round. They could play off it, trade it out in the end. It was a little bit sketchy. Not too keen on the Valk peeking that so late into the round, but hey, it's Xavier. Like we said, they love to peek everything. That's natural to them, and it works out. They now have a 1-round lead heading into the final round of the half, and they'll try and extend that heading back down to Winecell. In fact, not back down, because this is the first time we're going to see this site played.
Crazy to think when this is the primary bomb site for a lot of teams in ranked, but it just goes to show that as soon as a map is added to the comp pool, teams just go hard starting to develop it, and it does develop quite independent from what you see in high-level ranked. And I think a lot of these comp teams are starting to realize that, well, Master overall is just a very good site. And some of these teams, surprisingly, are seeing a lot of value in Kitchen with some creative strategies. But most teams, I would have expected that after Master Office, it would be Snowmobile and Wine as the second bomb site chosen. And even Bar Gaming, I think, is a pretty good bomb site. But here we go. We finally get to see this. And one of the big things for me here is the Giants, they've stopped bringing the Thermite. They only had it in the first 2 rounds before they switched on to the Hibana. So you look at the amount of hard breach available for Giants, especially on account of Bark bringing stuns instead of that hard breach charge. It's really, there's not a lot of hard breach available, so you can maybe get a line of sight or a crouch or vault hole on the Snowmobile side, and then at best a line of sight on Wine. You don't really have a lot to go around.
Yeah, I guess on the contrary though, Xavier only have the mute to actually deny these charges on the walls, so they don't have a Kaid or Bandit if they want to be a little bit more aggressive, just relying on Napier there. I don't think that's going to be too difficult to clear. All it takes is a couple of flashes through the drone hole and a nade, if there even is ADS devices on that wall, and then you've got it open. So Sure, it's limited in the amount of walls you can open, but I don't think it'll really stop the Giants from opening the walls that they probably wanted to anyway. We'll have to wait and play this out though, as Xavier takes control above alongside Jordan. So a map sweep in combination with that snowmobile wall, pretty typical on this type of attack, as the Giants try and make sure everything's clear before they start working the site.
Yeah, map sweep is a great thing to do on Chalet if the defenders are not contesting the roam. Being able to take complete map control is just so great. You can lock off those staircases, there's 3 of them, pretty easily with your air jabs or with some drones. And from that point forward, you can just completely open up all of the ceiling above the Lions Stellar side, above Snowmobile. Oh, this is aggressive position. Who's on the other side? It's that Speakeasy. It was Speakeasy, says Onigiri as he swings, takes off his head with ease. Critically, that is 2 of the explosives from Xavier gone. When there's still 2 Vulcan shields and 2 Evil Eyes remaining.
And the scary stat here for Giants as Jordan opens up that hole. As I was going to say, the scary stat is the team that gets the opening pick almost always wins the round. So based on that, Xavier should be able to clean this one up, provided they don't give away a trizzy here. So they're in the box seat to try and take this one, and Onigiri finds yet another. He's 0 down as well. This round is falling apart for the Giants.
Xavier just doing a great case study of why you don't need to roam on the basement chalet and still you can take a victory, or at least it's looking that way. Ysera's so low on HP. This is a nice angle, but it's predictable! Onigiri, how does he get away with that? Eventually punished, but it's just the OG APAC duo, Luna Metal and Ysera, to pick up the pieces. There's the Gon 6, deals with that Evil Eye. Ysera tries to drone up, but that's muted. Desperately looking to peek this. Night Skin on the G36, but it's going to have to be Luna going mental from this point forward, pushing on in. Not a large magazine. Xavier aren't giving him anything. The diffuser starts being planted, but Xavier found the last 2 players. A very, very solid round from the Thai team.
Onigiri! He's so fun to watch. I still have flashbacks to the SI calls. Do you remember that run out he did on Cafe? It was like a 3K or a 4K. Like, this man is just absolutely cracked. He's a champ as well, so you just know he's good at the game. What a pleasure to watch.
I think Onigiri is one of the best ranked players in the world. He's like champion 7 or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not quite at Spoit levels, but you know, he's all right. He's all right.
I think if you were to give someone the title of APAC Spoit, it would have to be Onigiri.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He is a ranked demon, and I'm very grateful to have never come up against him in the ranked stack.
Me too, me too. But I am glad that we're going to see Bar. That means we're going to see every single objective played on Chalet. How's that for a bit of fun? You were mentioning earlier, Dev, that you thought this might be a decent site, and composition from the Giants here. I think they could formulate something very, very strong. I love this mirror inside of that backstore. That position can't be cleared from above. The only way you clear that is directly on the mirror itself or from the wall to the east, where we saw those angles generated earlier towards the main stairs. So that could play a key role in how this round plays out. You can just hang around there, get full vision on that side and play planted. Then it's up to the rest of the team to hold the likes of Library above if they so elect, or even horizontally here, which we're seeing Hysteric set up a shield inside a kitchen. So wow, there's a lot going on right now, a lot to digest. We'll have to see if Xavier can digest it quickly. They've got 3 minutes to try and clear it and win the round.
Giants might with a lot of tricks up their sleeve, but Xavier are the team who always have an unorthodox response, and in this case, it's that Twitch I'm going to keep an eye on. Not a super common way to counter the mirror, but incredibly effective if you can get that Twitch drone in there and pop the canister. Still has 2 Twitch drones remaining. Once Xavier identify where those mirror windows are, I expect to see that Twitch drone go hunting. Looks like a bit of a clear for now, looking to take the master side of the map for Xavier.
What is Hysteric's doing?
That alibi, wait a second. Look at this. He's prone, hiding behind a shield and next to an alibi Prisma. Is he trying to bait someone to shoot the Prisma, and is he going to actually like stand in it? Oh my god, I would love that. This is such a weird strat.
so
it's
aggressive.
so cool.
Yeah, but it's so far away from side. I get the impression that Xavier should be able to ignore this, maybe. I guess you might want to take Dining to try and shut down any rotations through Fireplace, but if you get control of Library and go for a games execute, I don't really see that being too critical. So, sure, it looks cool, but Hysterics needs to be careful that one, doesn't give away his life cheaply, and two, that he doesn't hang around for too long. If he knows that Xavier aren't going to push him, there's no point just staying here for the entire round.
Giants seemingly spread thin, and Xavier are taking their time deciding what kind of a play they want to make. Angry X running out the site, starting to establish what kind of an execute is possible, if possible. And the rest is Dave at the moment just looking for a little bit of info, watching these passive angles. This is classic Xavier. Might look like they're not doing anything. They're just slowly figuring out what they want to do, but that clock will be their enemy if they waste too much more time.
Need Pew to kick things off. Speak easy onto
He's
the
inside.
DH. Leaves it in a 4-on-4. He's inside, but he doesn't have the kit, so there's not much he can do for now. He needs to wait for Sapper to come along and get that plant down. Where are the rest of these attackers? It feels like Xavier just all over shot right now. It's one over here, one over there, and one over there. I don't really know what's going on. Onagiri's not even in the objective yet as he vaults in. Shoots that alibi in the air, but Hysterics, he's long towards Library Stairs. This is going to be a tough round for Xavier, but they still get it to a 3-on-3.
Another trade goes through. Luna Metal is the pivotal player here for Giants. He has so much good vision. That's Hysterics on the blue stairs, but traded. And now it's all on Angry X, the new player on Xavier against 2. He does not have that diffuser, and he's going hunting. Might be able to find Luna Metal here, but it's too little, too late, and no diffuser in sight. Giants win the round on time.
Yeah, that was an interesting round, at least from Xavier. They had a player in sight, but then they had the remaining 3 absolutely nowhere to be seen. You still had Onagiri outside when Hysterics was not even in that position anymore. The kit was just nowhere to be seen as well. So, yeah, I don't really know what to say about that one. Not a great round from Xavier, if I'm being completely honest, but hey, they don't have to worry about that objective for a while, so they can forget about it.
Xavier are the kind of team that they're not going to try and address it head on. They're going to try and subvert it somehow. And that's what they tried to do. And for Napier to get inside and find a pick was great. But I think Giants reacted really well. They made sure that whatever Xavier pulled off, they would always have a trade for it. And it just meant that it came down to a 2v2 with just about no time left. And that's going to favor Giants in those strong anchor positions. Here we go into the next defense. The 4 Giants. Keep in mind, this was a 3-3 half. I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty torn as to who that 3-3 half might favor.
3-3 or 3-2?
Oh, sorry, it was a 4-2 half, wasn't it?
4-2, yeah.
I'm clueless. They definitely know who that favors.
Yeah, you would think it would favour Xavier being in the lead. But, especially can they hold on to that lead, right? Because they've already lost 1 round, so it's already starting to get pretty narrow for them. And that attack doesn't fill me with a whole lot of hope for this next round. I hope to see things be a little bit cleaner. Otherwise, then I'll be really worried. If there's 2 rounds in a row where they look disjointed, then it starts to look a little bit concerning.
Oh my god, is Hysterics doing my Ella strat?
Nah, I don't think anyone would do your Ella strat. It's not that good.
This is pretty close to my rank strat.
I
Just
don't know
putting it
about
out there. The Ella FR12 shotgun. I think, so the problem with playing this, I've done this quite a bunch in ranked, playing this position. It sucks, man. It's so hard if a team dedicates to pushing you. Even if you have concussions on the stairs behind you and in the box room of Library, you're also exposed to that window on the north side. So unless if you have a teammate somehow pressuring that window, say from piano, it can be really hard to stay alive here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, if someone just jumps in from the east balcony onto the mezzanine, they can also get an angle onto you if they look hard enough. So you're really limited in your mobility here, especially with that shotgun. So Hysterics is in a very dangerous position, and it's up to Xavier to punish that.
You mentioned earlier that Xavier might not take these setups head on though, so we may not even see them play this side of the map. That's a pretty aggressive mirror as well here from the Giants. Luna not shying away from those, and that's going to make any library entry incredibly tough. So I think it's probably wise that Xavier try and push from Stellarium here, and I expect the Giants would be ready for that. I mean, their attack is Stellarium centric, so you'd hope they have that side of the map down pat.
something you love to see is Super Onigiri back on the Finca, one of the trademark APAC strategies and Thai strategies that we like to see. This LMG is a powerhouse. When you click that button, that go button on Finca's wrist, everything just breaks loose. I'll keep a keen eye on Onigiri in the late round when that execute comes through. At the moment, Xavier once again quite spread out. Looking to figure out what their options are. A player pushing on mezzanine. They see that Ysera is playing in top fireplace. And wondering whether Pew can find an angle onto him through the floor. Needs to be extra careful. There are so many ways he might fall. Angry X finds it. That go button is hit. And it turns Xavier on. A 5v3 with not a lick of damage done across the board. That is complete control of Library.
Only 30 seconds to work with, though. Getting that wall open will be tricky if they desire, but they might just send it straight in. The left side has been open on a gear with the LMG. He's going huge. Oh my word. Lunar Metal is taken down alongside Speak Easy. It's a flawless round for Xavier. Finca is just an absolute machine in the hands of Onigiri. Simple as that.
Xavier are the kings of unorthodox. That was monstrous. A lot of people would sit there and say, what is Xavier doing? There's one player out reading, there's one player downstairs, there are two players on the balcony. They're all over the place. They're not supporting each other. Well, mate, you'd be wrong. Xavier might be on opposite sides of the map, but they are in sync like clockwork. And as soon as they hit that go button, man, do they turn it up. They pushed on everyone at the same time, making a move and overwhelmed the Giants, translating that into a flawless round. Insane.
Yeah, I don't even know how you counter that. I mean, it really comes down to the Giants being really switched on and hitting refrags, which unfortunately on that occasion they weren't. Because I mean, there's not really a hard counter to the Finca. I guess you can make the argument that smoke is because it increases the damage output, I believe, unless that was changed. I don't think it was, though.
That's still a thing.
And then I guess you've got the likes of maybe the Malusi and other forms of crowd control, but Malusi was taken off the board. And Xavier, they're playing into that. It's important that when you ban an operator, you actually play into that, which they are. They probably wouldn't have been able to do that with the Malusi because it would have halted them. So it looks a little bit silly, but deep down, that's actually super smart from Xavier.
Love to see it. Finca, I think, I'm not sure if Finca has an effect on Elemines. I think it does. I know that Finca will reduce the amount of time that you're flashed for. I think it also gives you some resistance to the concussion effects from Ela as well. I'm not 100% on that one. You walk through barbed wire faster, you walk through banshees faster, as you said. Finca is the queen of micro buffs. She just gives you a little bit of help in 1,000 different ways. You can't possibly remember all of them. And sometimes that translates into a victory. Here's an engagement. Napew versus Hysterics.
Oh, he's droning. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, he loses that! How? Napew turns it up, and straight on the back of that, the Finca boost comes through.
That's got to be a tilter for Hysterics. He heard the sound cue. He knew he was droning. He swung around the corner, saw that his head was down. Next minute, bang, you're dead. That has got to be frustrating, and it puts Giants at the man disadvantage. Keeping in mind, Dev, Xavier are a round away from match point against arguably the strongest team in this league as we stand today. This is pretty crazy from the Thai team.
In fact, Xavier win this round. They already locked themselves in for 1 point in the map. And, well, if they can win the whole damn thing, then that's even better. Giants' first map in APAC South League, and it's certainly no cakewalk. Lovely shot there from Onigiri. Shuts down Jordan.
That doesn't feel right. That does not feel right. Oh.
That is the second head on this three-headed Hydra of Giants' entry. Taken down. Xavier are picking them to pieces. It's just a matter of time before the execute comes through. Xavier have almost all the map control that they want, but Ysera goes down, and the final head on this Hydra is Speakeasy upstairs. No support. Xavier a 5v2.
Luna's playing on library stairs. What can he do? The answer is maybe something, but it's nothing in the end. Napew with the double, and it's Speakeasy up above to try and clutch this round out. Probably one of the more challenging clutches of his career as he takes a little bit of damage. Napier, he's just spamming the crouch, spamming the lean, and he'll find the kill with the finger boost as well. Xavier with a flawless round to earn themselves a match point.
Insane! That's what that is. I can't believe that Xavier are just running away with this. 2 rounds in a row, flawless. Napier turned it up, godlike. Onigiri had a massive performance, and here we are, 6-3, and we could well see Giants and Wildcard both lose their first games here in APAC South, who I thought were potentially the top 2 teams in all of APAC. But Xavier, and in fact, both of the Thai teams are here to make a message.
Wow. I think it's important to remember just how dominant the Giants were in APAC North last year. Their win rate was absolutely huge. I think if you worked out the numbers, it would have been about 90 plus, Dev, I think. 90% plus. If you count like regular season APAC North games, it would have been something incredible. Way they were
Probably, yeah.
They were huge. Like their only real trouble they had was against Cloud9, right?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the last 22 games, so that's everything, including the August Major Grand Final. The only times they've lost was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maps to Cloud9, 1 map to Xavier, and 1 map to Cyclops. And everybody else, they steamrolled.
Yeah.
I think Giants lost 1 game to Fab in 2, or is it stage 1? I can't remember. I feel like they lost 1 extra game in there somewhere. But it's certainly, I wouldn't go so far as to say unprecedented, but it's incredibly impressive for Xavier, because the Giants playing poorly. This is Xavier doing Xavier things. Like, this is not some kind of revolutionary new way of playing the game. This is just the Xavier playstyle. They've always been like this, they always will be, and they will keep taking names.
I mean, that's the thing. They lose 1 round, and Onigiri goes, "Hey boys, I'm jumping off the sledge. I'm gonna jump on the finger and do my bit." He's been finding kills and giving buffs to his teammates. Some would say that some of those buffs, like the recoil, can be a little bit annoying, but no, not for Xavier. As he says into this, they practice this. They know what they're doing. They'll be looking to find that opening pick once again. That trend has continued. Every round so far has been won by the team that gets the opening pick. So this is critical. The Giants, they're trying to stop Xavier from getting anywhere near the map, whereas Xavier on the attack, they're trying to find that coveted first kill.
Xavier, always been the Giants' kryptonite, but I certainly didn't expect this in the opening game of the season. 1 round away. What can Giants do to stop this? Speakeasy already taken so much damage. We're seeing this nice little setup to hold top fireplace and library. Sapper's info thus far.
Oh no.
DCH finally gets that first pick once again.
As I said, that's huge for Xavier. They're in the box position to take the round, take the map, and earn 3 points in the first match of APAC South League 2021. As Onigiri finds another, it's all going downhill here for the Giants. It's been a tough, as Luna's now taking damage as well. It's all compiling into one hell of a bad storm for them. They need to try and hold on, dig deep in this round, find something out of nothing.
Sarah desperately wrangling the Scorpion recoil. Some information on a player over near Kitchen, pinged out by that Prisma. Just 3 players left for Giants, holding on. Xavier biding their time. Players all over the map. They've got that information. 30 seconds remain. Xavier starts to push on forwards, still a little bit of time to engage this vertical play, but 20 seconds left. They better get a move on. That mirror is going to make things very difficult. Can he win the fight through the floor? He does! It's all on Luna Metal. 13 seconds left, and Xavier slay the Giants in APAC South.
They did it. Xavier have brought Thai Siege to the forefront of APAC. They did things we'd never expect if you come from another region, but hey, welcome to APAC. We expect this on the daily. 7-3 in the end. almost lost for words in how dominant that performance really was. And Xavier, I mean, maybe it's a little bit early to say this, but I reckon they might be a really strong team on Chalet heading into the future. Definitely seems to suit their aggressive playstyle.
What a performance.